Hello, it's Kristen. I'm going to help you figure out how to use our new Microschool portal. I will make it as quick and painless as possible. You start by opening a browser window, Chrome or Edge, whatever you prefer, Safari for you Apple people, and just type in teams.microsoft.com. Go there, and I'm already signed in, so it won't show it for me, but there'll be an option for you to enter in your username and password, which is located in the email that I sent you. Most of you will be prompted to change your password after your first login. So at that point, you can set it to whatever you can remember. After you log in, you'll be taken to the landing page, which looks like this. And on the left-hand side, you should see your student's Microschool section here. And then on the right, there's a chat window. This works just like Slack or Hangouts or Discord or Skype, whatever you use for chatting. This works the same way. It is a general chat. It's visible to everyone who is in the team. So all of your students' classmates, to me, to James as the network administrator, to Matthew as our tech support guy. So this is a public forum, but every week I will post, or Carrie Ann will post, a recap of what happened in Microschool. So you can read that here. If you open it up, it'll show you a little bit more. It does truncate to try to minimize the space that it takes up. And anybody can contribute to this. So if your student happens to have left their water bottle at school and you'd like everyone to check and make sure they didn't accidentally bring home the wrong water bottle, for instance, you could post that here. If you need to work out carpooling arrangements, if you want to let one of us know that your student will be absent, those types of things can go in the chat. You can use it for whatever it's useful for to you. It will include the most up-to-date information. This would also be where we would let you know if for some reason a class had been canceled. Maybe that might be due to a hurricane or teacher illness or things like that. All of that would be here. On the left here also is an option for chat. This chat is private chat. So if you need to contact me directly about something, you could do that here and it'll find me. And you would select that. I'm logged in as a student right now, so that's why it comes up like this. And then you would type a message, and that would be like a private message or an instant message. This is all still visible to me and James, just so that the students and parents have no presumption of privacy. Not that we have any real desire to go poking around in everybody's messages, but obviously, as always, the internet is forever, and your system administrator knows everything, so have your children especially be mindful of what they put in the chat. It would probably be best if the chat was used less between students, but totally okay between parents or between us and you if you need to. So going back to Teams, across the top here, there's a few menus. We already talked about conversations. So in files here, we're just getting started with the year, so there's not a lot here. This is the Microschool syllabus. You can click on that and it'll open as a Word document. It probably prompts you to download it. See what happens here. So you can view the syllabus. If you need to reprint it, most of you got it already in print this week, but if you needed to see it again, there it is. Lots of other files will show up there as the year goes on. It's just pretty empty because this is the first week. Over here in Class Notebook, this is a OneNote file. If any of you use OneNote or Evernote, OneNote is kind of similar. On the left-hand side here, there's a nested menu. You can see I've already added a section for class photos. We'll be adding those by week. This is considered to be a semi-private environment for photos in that it's not social media, it's not advertising. If you'd also like to opt your student out of photos here, even though it's only visible to other Microschool students and families, let me know and I will put it on a sticky note on my monitor so that I'm really careful about that. Obviously this week this is just Adam, so nobody else's kids are in the pictures, but I'm happy to do that for you. So we'll add pictures, Carrie Ann and I, as we take them. And I've already added a separate section for hands-on equations where there's a link for the worksheets. This is kind of like pinning it so that it's easy for you to find. Every student also has some upload space. If they if they would like to store anything online that's visible just to them with their login. I'm logged in as Daniel today, so shout out to Daniel and his family. So that's kind of how OneDrive works. This will be a growing resource as we continue to use it. Right now, again, it's pretty empty because we just started using it. But if you ever need to look in there for anything, we will tell you either in the conversations that we looked at first or in the assignments tab, which we're about to explore next. Most of you are curious about this more than anything else, I think. So we're going to go ahead over to assignments. And you'll see for today, Friday, August 25th, this is what's assigned for the kids. So Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Baisley Frankweiler, that's their literature assignment, their first book of the year. If you click on it, it'll open up the little assignment here, and it tells you what part is required, which is reading chapters 1 and 2. The student will need to do that in order to keep up with our discussion in class, and then what's recommended. This is for portfolio building and of course also for enhanced comprehension. My suggestion is that your student make note of unfamiliar words, these particular words, and then any other unfamiliar words that they come across in their reading. And then it's also recommended that they practice writing responses to reading to journal prompts. So for this week, it's, do you think it's wise of Claudia to have Jamie hold all of the money, and what's your prediction for tomorrow's reading? So not necessary for you to have the students bring those in, although they're certainly welcome to. All the recommended assignments, they're accountable to you, the parent, for. After your student has done at least the required assignment, please have them go up here and click on Turn In so that I know that it's been completed in your family. That gives me an idea of what I'm coming into. When I come back in on Tuesday, I know who's read. And after you're finished with this particular assignment, you can go back out and it'll take you back to the calendar. Also for today, Friday, we have a history assignment that's recommended. REC is recommended and not required. This is a map for Story of the World. So here's the map itself. If you click on that, it'll open either in your browser or in Acrobat, depending on your setup. And you can print it there at home. And there's directions here, obviously, so your student would find those directions. They may need a atlas to do that, or an online map, and they can upload it if they want to. Don't have to. They'd have to scan it in or take a picture. Or you guys can just put it in your portfolio folder and keep it at home. They don't necessarily have to bring it back because it is just a recommended assignment. Personally, I would probably keep everything together and bring it back and forth, but it really is a family preference thing. Once they're done, if they do choose to do it, I would still appreciate it if you let me know whether or not they did it. All you do to do that is click on Turn In. The more information I have about how much the kids are doing at home, the better a feel I have for where to begin next week's lesson. So every bit of data that you can give back to me is ultimately useful for me and for the students. So that's pretty much it. You'll notice that in order to help pace the students with their reading, I did kind of smear out the reading assignments over the weekend days, but you don't have to have them work on Saturday and Sunday. The real goal is that they get through the last day of assignments before the class meets again. So essentially by the time they come back to class, they need to have read through chapter 5, and then they'll have come across vocabulary words in each chapter, and there's a reading prompt for each chapter, but they don't have to split that up into separate days. They could do it over the course of 2 days or all at once or whatever works for your family. That's up to you to manage as parents. So that's how that works. I know everybody's been really curious about it. It's new to us at IFSpace, but we're really excited to have it. I think there's a lot of potential here for good, solid communication, and we're open to your feedback. So if something's not working, if the workload is too great, if it doesn't feel like it's enough, let us know and we'll make adjustments as the year goes on. But this is where we're starting, and we're happy to help. If you have any technical problems in the beginning, just let us know and we'll help get you going. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and let me know if there's any other way I can help. Thanks a lot.